Hello, Freedom High School Chemistry. This is Miss Malatin, and today we're going to talk about rounding and why we need to round. Well, here's the example. Let's say we needed to take a measurement. We needed to find the length of this line, and several different groups of students measured it, and each group had a slightly different measurement. Well, we know there's a little bit of error inherent in all measurement, and that we don't have the most precise instruments. So in order to improve our accuracy, and in order to become closer to the true value, we take a lot of measurements and then we find the mean, which you guys did in middle school. You found the mean, which you took the sum of all the measurements and then divided it by the count. So we took all three measurements and divided it by 3, and this is what we got for an answer. Now, if we had this ruler and we took measurements where we had the first digit was known and the second one was an estimate, did we suddenly have a precision instrument going all the way out this many decimal places? No. So the rule of thumb, we are going to need to learn how to round to the correct number of significant figures. And the rule of thumb for taking a measurement and for rounding is that the answer should have the same number of significant figures as the measurement. So let's go back, and we were taking measurements with 1-2 sig figs, 2. This one was iffy, but it has a trailing 0 after the decimal, so that's 1-2. So our answer should have 2 significant figures. That way we aren't misrepresenting the precision of our instrument. We are reporting how precise we are. So the answer would be 2 sig figs. So how you would do this? Well, first we would start with 1 sig fig. Beautiful. And 2, so that's as far out as we are going to go. But this last step is what is the trickiest. We have to stop there, but you have to look at the next digit to see if we need to round our last significant figure up or leave it the same. So if the last figure, we're looking here at what influences the rounding. If this is 5 or greater, we will round this one up. And if this one's less than 5, we will leave this one alone. So right now I have this guy, and we look here, 6 is greater than 5. So that's going to cause this to round up. It's going to round up to 0, and then we're going to have to put a 1 up here. 1 plus 6 is 7. So our correct answer, the length of that line, the length that we are measuring, in centimeters, we have units, is going to be 0.70 centimeters, 2 significant figures. And therefore, that will free you from the tyranny of the calculator. Because this 7, that's just where my calculator ended. That 6, that went on to infinity. And we cannot measure to precision to infinity. So we're going to do a couple practice ones. Right here, 1 sig fig. This gives kids trouble. 1 sig fig. So we have 1 here, and we look at this next one. That's greater than 5. So this is just going to be a 6. This guy to 2 sig figs. I'm going to come all the way in here. To 3 sig figs. Okay. 1, this is a placeholder, not significant. 2, 3. And so I look, this is my last one. I look at the next digit. That is less than 5, so we are going to round this. 1, 2, 3 sig figs. That trailing 0 after the decimal and after a non-zero number, that's significant. That guy's just a placeholder. 2 sig figs. Okay, 1, 2. These are the hard ones. I look here, that rounds that up to 10, which means we have to carry over. So that's going to be 3.0. But think about it. 2.998 round up to 3.0. They're very close. Your answer should be very, very close to the original number. Now here's what gives, this one will give people trouble. So we're rounding to 2 sig figs. Okay, this is the easy part. 1, 2. We look at here, it's not going to make us round, so we write a 26. And now a lot of people just leave the 26. 26, if I owed you $26,384 and rounded it to 26, you would be mad. This 2 is not just a 2, that's 20,000. This 6 is not just a 6, that is 6,000. We need our placeholders, so you just put zeros as placeholders. 26,384, very close to 26,000. It's just the correct number of sig figs for whatever the operation was. 3 sig figs. 1, 2, 3. This 4 does not make this round, so this is just 37.4. Right here, number 6. 3 sig figs. 1, 2, 3. That 3 doesn't make it round. 49.0. 1, 2, and because there's a decimal, that 0 is not just a placeholder because we have decimal and a non-zero number here. This guy's only just a placeholder if there's something like that, where there's no non-zero numbers out here to the left of the decimal. This one, to 1 sig fig, this always kills people. Okay, not placeholder, placeholder, 1. 9, that rounds that up, that 7 up to 8. 0.1 sig fig, that 8 is the only significant one. 3 sig figs, placeholder, placeholder, 1, 2, 3. So that 8 makes that 0 go up to 1. Our answer is 0, 0, placeholder, placeholder. 1 sig fig, 2 sig figs, 3 sig figs. 3 sig figs. Very close. These two numbers are very close. So you have to have about the same value. This is one of the ones that kills people. Just have a hard time wrapping their brains around it. 1 sig fig. You look at the next one. It doesn't round it up, so we have an 8. If I owed you over $800,000 and tried to give you 8, you would be mad. That 8 means 800,000. We rounded to 800,000. You must put the placeholders. That rounds to 800,000. The last one, to 4 sig figs. 1, 2, 3, 4. That 2 does not round that 0 up. The 0 stays the same. So this would be 30.00. All right. I hope that helps you with your rounding.